Well, so many things are happening in our country, but the person that I see on television, I see her all over the place, right next to the president, greeting all the people that are important in the world, is Monica Crowley. And I've known Monica for a long time. She was President Nixon's assistant in the latter days of his life, and then she was with Treasury with Trump 45, and now she has the title of ambassador and is the right-hand person of chief of protocol of the White House for President Trump 47. Well, Monica, tell us about it. This is so unbelievably great. Tell us what it feels like to meet the President Putin, President Xi, and all these people.
Well, and first of all, it is great to be back with you, and you're exactly right. You and I and Marco, we go back a long ways. We've been friends for a long time, and it's always such a pleasure to talk with you on and off the air. So thank you so much for having me today. It is such an extraordinary honor and blessing, and I knew it right after the election in 2024 when President Trump called me for this position. John, he said to me, I can't think of anybody better to represent our country to the rest of the world than you. And what an honor that was for him to say, and now to actually be in this position, Chief of Protocol of the United States. I and my extraordinary team are really responsible for the warmest welcome possible to all visiting heads of state who come in to see the president and others who come in to see the vice president and the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. We are responsible for creating the kind of robust environment, diplomatic environment, so that they can engage in the most effective diplomacy possible for the American people and for the United States. So we take care of all of their diplomatic engagements from the top on down, and no detail is too small. John, we want to make sure that they feel welcomed and embraced when they come to the United States, from their greeting at Joint Base Andrews to the extension, in most cases, of Blair House for them to stay while they're here, to the flowers, to the linens, to the menus, to making sure that they have everything that they need in terms of access and resources to do their jobs well on their side, so that we're also taking care of our side as well, from the president, vice president, secretary, right on down. We want to make sure that foreign policy is executed in the best possible way. And my particular job, I sit atop, like I said, an extraordinary team. But my job, John, is to welcome them. So greeting President Xi Jinping of China, greeting President Vladimir Putin, greeting all of the Western European leaders, the British Prime Minister, the French President, every single one who is interacting with President Trump. In most cases, they see me first. And it is absolutely phenomenal to have these experiences and greet all of them and make sure that they feel welcome, but in many cases before they go in to see the president. My job is to charm them, make them feel welcome, engage them, many cases make them laugh, make them feel relaxed, get them what they need. And then I send them in for the kill, John. Then I say, the president will see you now, and I take them into the Oval Office. But
that really must be so exciting.
A blessing of a life.
The Oval Office, the headquarters of the world, because I look at the Oval Office of the United States as being almost the Oval Office of the whole world, because we lead. I mean, we are the leaders of the world right now, and it's because the President Trump had the courage to take control of things, and he has the recognition of being the leader of the world.
Well, I will tell you, John, because I am with these world leaders all the time, even when you are dealing with world leaders with whom there are serious policy and ideological differences with President Trump, his administration, and with the United States, So a Xi Jinping of China, a Vladimir Putin of Russia, even in those cases, and certainly with other world leaders around the world, to a person, they all deeply appreciate a strong American president. Like I said, even with their strong, powerful disagreements, they all appreciate President Trump and a strong American president who will tell them exactly what's up. So, President Trump, like George Washington and Abraham Lincoln before him, will always tell you the truth. You may not like what he's telling you. You may not like the style in which he is telling you, but he will always be very forthright and tell you exactly his policy, where he stands, where America stands. And I am telling you that all of these people deeply appreciate that because they know exactly where they stand. They don't have to waste time trying to guess, where's the president? Where's his policy on this? Where does America stand on this? He doesn't really waste time. He's very polite and gracious, but he doesn't waste time beating around the bush. He tells you exactly where he stands. And to a person, these world leaders all are grateful for that.
And how many presidents have you worked for? I know you worked for President Nixon. I know you worked for President Trump, 45 and 47. Did you work for Ronald Reagan at all?
I did not. I worked with President Nixon. It was my very first job out of college, and it ended up being the last 4 years of his life, so mid-1990s. I did not work with President Reagan, although I did get to know him a little bit. While I was working for President Nixon, President Reagan used to come and visit President Nixon. So it was like the three of us in the room together, Nixon, Reagan, and me. And now I'm also in these incredible rooms. But I did also, and I did not work for either one of the Bushes, but I did work with President Trump in his first administration as Assistant Secretary of the Treasury, and now, of course, in his second as Chief Protocol. So I've been around a lot of American presidents. I've met a lot of the Democrat ones, too, President Clinton, and so I've kind of been in this presidential universe. So I certainly know how to conduct myself, how my team should conduct themselves at the very highest levels.
Well, thank you so much for coming on this Sunday morning, and God bless you, and God bless. The work you do is phenomenal, and I look forward to sitting down one-on-one without telephones, without microphones, and finding out who your favorite people were, and we'll catch up again real soon.
I look forward to that too, John. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.